My name is David Van Cleve, and I am the Education Director with AACT, and I want to thank you all for being here. This is our first industry connection of the year. We'll have plenty of other exciting webinars coming up soon, so please visit aact.org/webinars for that. But today is all about Broadway Plus. Not only is Broadway Plus one of our partners, but we are so lucky to work with them for ACT Fest to bring our Broadway buddy, Ben Cameron, as our keynote speaker, so we can say with complete confidence that they are fantastic. They are the best. You're going to love them. I'm so excited to have them with us. If you have questions throughout today's presentations and are joining us via Zoom, you can drop those in the Q&A function. If you're watching via Facebook, just drop them in the comments. Either way, we will make sure that Jeremy and Betsy see them. So with that, I will go ahead and pass it over to Jeremy and Betsy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. How y'all doing? Let me just get my presentation up here. Of course, I figured out how to do it once, and now I don't know how to do it again. Okay, portion of screen. Let's see. Slides. Let's see if this works. Why isn't it working?
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm still here with you now, Jeremy. No need to freak. We're good. We're good. We're good. Now, so if you have clicked that share screen, you're on the basic tab. You should see the presentation there underneath one of those selections there.
Yeah. Hold on one second, y'all.
And while we do that, Betsy, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Betsy Werbelwill, and I am an event salesperson and also the artist relations manager here at Broadway Plus. I'm super excited to be here today. A little bit about me. I have lived in New York for the past 30 years. I'm aging myself. And I have been lucky enough to have a Broadway career. I was in Les Miserables on the national tour and on Broadway. And I was also in Wicked on the national tour and on Broadway. And I've had 27 glorious years of performing. And it was amazing. And I have made a shift in the past 5 years to go into the business side of things. And during the pandemic, I reached out to Nathaniel Hill, our founder at Broadway Plus, and asked if he needed any help with artists and trying to, change up some things that were not working during the pandemic. And here we are. I've been working for Broadway Plus for the past 3 years, and I have been developing our education department just literally from the get-go and trying to get education involved with Broadway Plus. And it's been awesome. It's been a wonderful sort of journey. And Jeremy and I now run the company, not run the company, but run the education department. And we are excited to be here to tell you all about what we do. How you doing, Jer?
You know what? For some reason, it's not working like it was earlier, but that's okay. We're all in this together. Betsy said it great. We both run the education department. We love connecting with teachers all over the country. If you saw us at AACT with Ben Cameron, or you were able to come near our fabulous booth, we have this fabulous printout that has all of our offerings. Now, what we do is we send artists out on the road. We work with artists out on the road on national tours, and we work with artists in New York to come and do programming. So today our goal is to work with you to eventually add what we do to your programming in the form of masterclasses, in the form of galas, in the form of keynotes, or in the form of any programming that you come to. We have lots of different offerings that I'm going to try one more way to show you, because I spent so much time on this gorgeous presentation. So let me see. You might just have to go to Canva and just bear with me. Let's see. Basic, desktop, share. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Sure can.
Perfect. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. Present full screen. Present. Perfect. And I can go forward and everyone can see that?
So we can see it, but it's only a portion of the screen. I think it's because you zoomed in a bit. If you'll zoom back out, we should be able to get the full picture here for you. Now
like
click
that.
There we go.
All right. I'm going to email this to you guys all in general, but basically I want Betsy to talk a little bit about the genesis of Broadway Plus and how we got started. And then we'll go in and talk about what we do specifically and what we'd like to do with your AACT community theater, studios, and communities.
Okay, so Broadway Plus started about 8 years ago with Nathaniel Hill, and it was he basically was graduating Columbia University and was trying to figure out what was missing in the Broadway community. And he figured out that VIP experiences in the Broadway community were something that the public didn't really have access to. And so he just started himself this little company where he started using the connections that he knew to give people sort of backstage tours and a VIP experience with Broadway shows. So for instance, they would go backstage at Wicked with house seats and a backstage tour with an artist and come with, you know, a swag bag and maybe a bottle of wine and maybe some dinner reservations and stuff like that. And we would show them around backstage and give them a very exclusive VIP experience. And everything was going quite well. And then the pandemic hit, and we all had to sort of reevaluate as to what would work best for us. And that is sort of when I came in and a couple of our other colleagues here at Broadway Plus to sort of help during the pandemic, get us back on our feet instead of just completely shuttering because our entire industry was literally gone. So we shifted and we brought on a bunch of new artists to our platform from all the shows that were not working anymore. And we also merged with another company called Artist and Beyond that was owned by Tice Green, who is now a partner in Broadway Plus. And so we merged in the middle of the pandemic and took both of our companies, which were kind of doing the same thing, and we merged all the artists. So now we have over 750 artists on our platform that have worked on Broadway and on national tours all over the country. And we sell experiences to corporate, to educational, to VIP experiences where you come to New York, you buy tickets, you go see a show, and then you meet. So we just had Miguel Cervantes literally in our office 15 minutes ago, who plays Hamilton in Hamilton on Broadway, come and talk to two kids and their parents and sing songs from Hamilton. It was amazing. So stuff like that is what we do. And then our education department sort of started with Tice, who was the partner that we merged with. And he really wanted to focus on a lot of education because that's what he does. He's also an actor as well, and bring sort of the education department. And so we have literally started from scratch. And now we have this entire blossoming education department that we do lots of different experiences. And we'll tell you a little bit more about these specific educational experiences that we do.
Yes, well said. And of course, there's so much that we do. And that's why we're very custom and concierge at times. But when it comes to what we'd like to do with the community theater realm and the studio realm and your community realm, you know, that pretty much lies in education, New York, because who doesn't love to come to New York? And then again, custom experiences. So we're going to kind of go through everything that we offer, our tops and our most popular. And then we want to hear from you all the questions and, you know, connect as many ways as we can. So I'm going to change the next slide and we're going to go into our education department. And I'm going to have Betsy kind of talk about our bread and butter, which would be the masterclass. Betsy, you want to take it away?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a masterclass basically that we offer a workshop and we focus on different areas. So that being said, you know, if a teacher comes to us and says, we want to do a dance workshop or we want to, you know, work on dance and acting, how can we do that? Can we want to work on singing and dance? We can customize anything to what the teachers want their students to focus on. So that being said, we typically, our bread and butter is like a 90-minute masterclass, where the first hour is a workshop, and it could be dance specific, it can be vocal specific, it can be acting specific, where the artist works one-on-one with students on like a cut of a musical theater song or a 1-minute monologue, and they'll work for like 8 to 10 minutes one-on-one on that specific piece. And we also do group acting, where, if you have prepared material with your students that you want the artist to give constructive criticism on, we can do something like that. We also can play games and just do exercises and just get people working as an ensemble, and whatever you'd like to focus on is something that we can do. So that's usually within the first hour. And then the last 30 minutes of the 90-minute masterclass is a Q&A, where the everybody who participated in the workshop, or if they just observed the workshop, they can participate in a 30-minute Q&A with the artist, and they get to ask all the kinds of questions. How did you get your start? Where did you go to school? Where did you come from? What's it like living in New York? All those types of things. You can ask the artists one-on-one, and then there's usually allowed time to take some pictures and stuff like that. So it's a great opportunity to sort of get kill two birds with one stone and get a workshop and a Q&A instead of just having a Q&A and just having a workshop. So the 90 minutes sort of is like the perfect little experience. But yeah, we do all different types of things, but our masterclass are basically our bread and butter, and we can customize it to whatever you want to focus on.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that you're thinking, oh my gosh, how much is a masterclass going to cost to fly in someone from New York? Well, it does cost, but our way of keeping costs down is we actually work with artists on national tours. So if an artist is in Omaha or Lincoln or Fort Myers or wherever you may be, if their artist is at if their shows is one of the touring houses, we send artists to schools and theaters to do these 90-minute, 60-minute, 2-hour masterclasses. It keeps costs down. Again, we have a pricing sheet that we can send you as well, but it's less of a organizational hassle to be like, oh my gosh, I had to fly in someone from New York and, deal with all this. Now, speaking of that, that's what makes us so good at our job is if you did want to fly in Laura Bell Bundy for your opening night or Legally Blonde masterclass, we can arrange that. And Betsy and I do that often. What's really great about Broadway Plus is the client comes to us and then we make the idea happen and handle all the operational jobs. So you're not booking flights, you're not booking hotels, you're not doing any of that. You're just getting what you designed with us. Speaking of Laura Bell, what's really fun is our show specific things. We're working with an amazing theatrical licensing group. The ink's not dry, but what we're looking to do is we're looking to partner with all of their catalog of shows to send add-ons with all of the licensed material that they sell. So like, let's see, if you're doing Newsies, you could sit down for a virtual 30-minute Q&A with Kara Lindsay, or you're doing 9 to 5, you can sit down with perhaps Steve Arimas, who did all the orchestrations. So we like doing show specific things because it can add to your program. It can add to your students / performers connecting with the audience or connecting with the show, learning more from someone who developed or created the role. And what's really cool is you can use all these little things to kind of build up your marketing. You can market these things. Again, we're going to also reiterate throughout this is that you can charge admission. You can sell what we sell to you. And if you make more money than what we sold it to you, by all means, that's a win-win for both of us. So we're really big with the masterclasses with national tours and then show specific work. And again, we can even bring someone who's in Wicked right now, who happens to be in your city, but might have done, let's say, Newsies or Rent, and give you that rehearsal masterclass with text feedback. A lot of schools that we work with, they like to bring in someone that was in the show on their final dress rehearsal to give feedback and positive reinforcement, not anything to derail them. And then the next night they can perform at their opening night, and theaters and schools can really upsell that and charge a lot of money. So that's a fun offering that we have, and we love it. Betsy kind of talked about all of these, so we'll just kind of go through it fast. Our 60-minute in-person Q&A and our 90-minute masterclass, like those are our bread and butter. Those are what people really like. You're getting a well-rounded experience. in not too brief of a time. You're really able to, you know, take that 60 minutes to focus on the craft, and then take that 30 minutes to maybe perform it for some peers, record it, but then also get to talk and connect with the artist. And, you know, everyone's like virtual, like, why do we want to go back to virtual? But virtual is really cool because if your budgets are lower, or you're just in a location, let's say, where we can't get someone in, you can still connect with Laura Bell, Kevin Chamberlain, Chris Jackson, whoever it may be, to again expand and really flesh out that programming and that show's kind of journey. Betsy, can you just kind of briefly explain? These are some of the shows we work with, not all of the shows, but you know, Betsy, do you want to talk about this real fast?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we work with the national tours that represent basically Broadway. Unfortunately, you know, in our business, a lot of national tours have become non-union these days, which is really unfortunate for our union actors. But so unfortunately, we don't work with the non-union tours. So we do work with Les Miserables, Six, the new cast of Company that's coming out, MJ the Musical, Moulin Rouge, all the big ones is the ones that we do. And you know, whenever they're in town, we will always send like the dates that they're in. We can customize an event when they're in town, and we can let you know the good days that they are available and willing to teach, and we can definitely schedule something that is good for you and good for them as well. So virtual is also great. I do want to reiterate that, you know, financially, if there is any issues, they are a lot less expensive, and they are really amazing experiences. Like, you can learn Hamilton choreography virtually with somebody that's in Hamilton. So, you know, stuff like that is pretty cool. So it still is quite worth it.
I agree. I see a question, and Sana, I'm going to answer that question for you at the end. Again, one of our other core offerings that we work with theaters and schools, and actually quite a few theaters, is that we can do all of what we do on the road in New York City. And what's really great is we can get you your tickets. We can get you discounted group tickets. We're an official licensed group sales agent. We're not icing. We're not hacking up the prices. You're getting them at the group sales rate that's legal through the theater and the promoter. So if you're bringing a group, we can get you your tickets. We can get you dinner and drinks before or after the show with someone in the show. We can get you a workshop, or we can do walking tours. We do a Hamilton themed walking tour where we go to all the downtown sections of Lower Manhattan where these things took place. And what's really cool is that you'll go with a Hamilton artist that's currently starring on Broadway. So there's lots and lots of fun things that we do. Our last thing is, because I know we only have 15 more minutes, we want to answer your questions. The last thing we do is we're very customizable. Betsy, what haven't we done? We've done bat mitzvahs, we've done birthdays, we've done 90th birthday celebrations, we've done Mary Kay Beauty, and we got Julie Taymor for Google. So there's really nothing we can't do. So whether it's here in New York or home, or even just a little shout out from Ethan Slater for your kid or granddaughter that likes SpongeBob, we can make that happen. Again, I'm going to reiterate one more time, is that we have access to all these fabulous artists who know what they're doing, who have shows, who have musical directors, who have all of this stuff already ready. So all they need to do is come to you and perform their show. So that's one thing that you're adding to your programming. You know, a night with Beth Lavelle, an evening with Billy Porter. We'll talk about that pricing later, but it is possible. So we can do concerts at your venue with Broadway artists. Again, we can also do galas and keynotes. So if you're doing your gala that's bringing in money, hey, let's say you want to bring in a Broadway artist to up that ticket price to, you know, entice your people and to, you know, put more money back into your program, then by all means, we love that. We also do keynotes. If you were at AACT, I worked with the fabulous Ben Cameron. And then 3 days after, I went to the International Thespian Festival to work with Ashley De La Rosa. So Betsy and I are kind of the keynote queens, because we understand what educators and theater makers want to hear. And at the end of the day, we understand that they just want to connect with artists who are just like them, regardless of, where they're at with their careers. So that all said, we want to offer programming to you in any way possible. And, there's no idea that's not big or small enough, because we can definitely make it work. Betsy, did I cover everything?
I think so.
All right. Sorry about my PowerPoint. I really wanted it to be beautiful for you all, but these things happen. The Q&A. Let's see. Sana asked, oh yes, Betsy answered it. Yes, we work with artists all over the world. The one really cool thing is that, people come to us and like, oh, this artist isn't on your platform. We definitely have the access and the resources to try and source them. We can get in touch with an agent or a manager if possible. It just, at the end of the day, sometimes stars are just going to cost more, but we try and do our best to get a hold of everyone, even if they're not on our platform.
But we do have 750 artists that we have easy access to.
Oh, Sana says, I would like to promote my culture in the city of Austin, Texas, and would love to invite artists from Pakistan to Austin. Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's something we could totally connect on and see, how we can make that work. That's really cool. Adam has a question. If we were interested in bringing a group to New York, do you deal with group travel lodgings? Yes, we do. Betsy and I we're figuring it out because it's new to us, but Broadway Plus is proud to now be an IATA member, which means that we get a hold of any hotel. So if you want to stay at the Intercontinental, or you want to stay at the Plaza, or you want to stay at the very reliable free breakfast Hampton Inn that's not far from the theater district, we can make that happen at a group rate. So yes, we can 100% do that. We also can do busing. We also have, charter buses that can get you to JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, into the city. The only thing that we don't do is flights. We don't offer flights. Perfect. Does anyone else have any other questions? Now you're probably thinking, wow, Broadway, it's very luxurious and, like everyone wants to do it. But at the end of the day, I think what Betsy and I have really seen, and Betsy, feel free to jump in, is that with shows that are on the road, and especially with Title I schools who, we work with, by sending them grants and stuff, we've really been able to kind of bridge that gap between Broadway being this like untouchable, luxurious thing by bringing artists into schools and working with kids and audiences of all ages being like, if they're doing it, I can do it. They're a normal person like me. They pay their bills and stuff like that. And so that's what we've really seen. And we've given these teachers such a break from having to find all of this extra curriculum because we have it all ready to go. Betsy, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I was just going to answer Adam's question. He says, have you seen other community theaters do trips to New York as fundraisers? Have you seen that, Jared?
Yes. I'm actually working with one right now. They're based out of Ventura, California. We've worked with them twice. They come to New York with a big group. And basically what they do is this trip is a fundraising thing. We're doing a gala with them at the Museum of Broadway in March, and we're getting them all their show tickets. So basically they advertise this to their donors and to their patrons. And I don't know how it works with them raising money. Adam, you're probably going to know how that works, but yes, you can definitely use what we do as fundraisers. I'm also working with a group right now in Omaha where basically they're raffling off one of our offerings. And of course, the first question is, well, what if it doesn't sell and you've already paid us? Where we can put together a package that you can market at your gala or at your fundraiser. And once you make the money, then you can come to us and we'll handle everything. Because we don't want you to be out of money. We don't want you to, so that's something that else we offer. We can do packages, we can do meet and greets, we can do you know, basically, if you wanted to do a dinner wherever you're at with a Broadway artist, we do them in Atlanta when there's a show in Atlanta. We do them in St. Louis and in Cleveland. So if you wanted to package something like that to sell or to raffle off, we can do that. Once it's paid for, then we'll fulfill it. Any other questions? This has been fun. We've got 5 minutes left. We'd love to hear from all of you, all 15 of you fabulous people.
Yes, of course you can, Sana, you can email us directly. I'm Betsy at BroadwayPlus.com and he's Jeremy at BroadwayPlus.com.
Perfect. And another thing that we'd also like to tell you too is that, you know, I don't know what your market's like, or I don't know what your community is like, but we work with a lot of schools and theaters that team up to do our event. So if you wanted to do it with a, you know, another theater in town, you know, to save on costs or anything like that, we can also do that as well. And then again, we do keynotes. We're huge in the convention scene. If you want the cast of Hamilton to perform at your, I don't know, Wendy's convention or your Facebook DEI symposium, we can do all of that kind of stuff. So it's not just the big, fabulous brands. We've worked with that veterinarians, we worked with Pfizer, we worked with amazing nursing homes down in Alabama that come back every year just to connect virtually and talk to a Broadway star. So there's nothing we can't do, and we're looking forward to hopefully enhancing your programming and giving Broadway to everyone in your community and seeing you guys succeed as a, you know, beacon of the theater community and tradition. Any other questions? Does anyone plan on coming to New York anytime soon? Maybe drop that in the chat. We'd love to get coffee with you.
Yeah, let us know if you come to New York. We'd be happy to meet you in person and get you tickets to see a show and all the things.
How much lead time do you need to get a masterclass set up? I go by the 6-week rule, but I've made one happen in 3 days. But on a fulfillment standpoint, and Betsy can talk about this soon, especially if it's a big city and we've booked a lot of people, we like to be able to give our producer ample time, and we want to give you ample time so you're not scrambling, you know? So 6 weeks, but you know, I've sold something in a day and was driving an artist to Westchester, you know, that same day.
I mean, we can always make things happen at the last minute. It honestly really depends on how you can make payment. If you have to go through the PO process, that definitely on your end takes a lot longer. So we have to, before we can confirm anything on our standpoint, we just need a signed contract or an approved PO. So if you know that you have to pay with a PO, then we just need a little extra time to sort of get that processed. But other than that, once we have confirmation, it's pretty smooth sailing on our end.
Yeah. I just want to know before you go, if anyone wants to share in the chat, what shows, plays, or musicals are y'all doing this coming season? We'd love to know. Oh yeah, Mark, I can call you. I'll call you right after this call. I actually just worked with a fabulous summer camp in Northern California, up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. We sent 4 artists: Alex Brightman from Beetlejuice, Ellie McLemore, who's just this fabulous like Hollywood Broadway influencer, Sam Pauly from Six, and then Elizabeth Teeter from Beetlejuice, who just, she's the gemmiest of gems. She is so lovely to work with. Okay, hello, we've got 1 minute. I want to see shows, I want to see musicals, I want to know what everyone's doing. Oh, here we go. We've got Some Enchanted Evening. Ooh, I love that. Anything Goes, Finding Nemo, the Marvel plays. Oh, you guys got some. Oh, The Prom, Ragtime, School of Rock. Okay, all right, well, you know, like I said, Ethan Slater's a phone call away if you want SpongeBob at your opening night. Y'all have been so great to work with. We're so happy to be a part of the AACT family. Broadway Plus is also really proud to be an EDTA sponsor. Betsy and I will both be at their conference in Florida at the end of September. I don't know if we have any educators out there, but if you do, we'd love for you to stop by our booth and chat with you about what we can do for your schools and just for theater in general. So thank you so much for your time, Betsy.
Thank you all. We hope to hear from you soon or see you in New York and see you through email. It's nice to meet you all.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Jeremy and Betsy, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks again to Broadway Plus in general for your continued support of AACT and our members, and for providing these incredible opportunities. Please, please, please take advantage of these opportunities. I wish something like this existed when I was younger in theater. I wish that I could have met SpongeBob in person in a masterclass. So please take advantage, and thank you guys so much for joining us. And we will see you all at our next Industry Connection next month.